Hello and welcome to the Knock On, KCLR and Scoreline.ie's rugby podcast. This week we're joined by Johnny Tobin from Tullow Rugby Club. Johnny, how's it going?
Not too bad, Stephen, and yourself?
That's sure, I'm all right. We caught up with a colleague of yours, I suppose, in Kilkenny last week, James Blanchfield. He was speaking highly of you. Of course, Johnny, Tullow, like Kilkenny and Carlow in this neck of the woods, pretty much affected the same when it came to COVID and everything like that. But you kept yourselves busy out in Tullow, games or no games. And there's been plenty going on out in the club and watching your social media accounts. And I suppose we'll start with some of the work that's been going on at the club. You're after redeveloping your pitches out there. Look absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's great. They put in a 4G pitch and they turned the top pitch to make two more pitches. So COVID has actually been a blessing in disguise for Tullow Rugby Club because it gave us time to get this project done and done right, I suppose, with no traffic coming in or no cars, no kids. We got to do the car park as well as the pitches and stuff like that. So there's been a big project going on out there and it's been very, very busy. And it's great to see it. It's looking lovely now at the moment. So.
Like you said, you no one in bothering you, so to speak. Not that you mind people out there at all.
No.
Was all this in the pipeline before COVID, Johnny, or was it just accelerated a bit because you had a bit of time?
No, it was in it. I suppose they've been talking about it for the last couple of years, but everyone talks about it, and I think a couple of men grabbed the bull by the horns, as they say, and just drove it on, You can't really talk about the 4G pitch and not give a notable mention to Ger O'Brien, who unfortunately lost his life through COVID, but Ger was a major part in that pitch, and he drove it on. So it's great to see it there, and it'll always be a memory of Ger that he drove that thing on, and the pitch it's been an idea, I suppose, for 3 to 4 years, and like I said, himself and Noel and a few others got in and just put the shoulder to the wheel and pushed it on,
It looks spectacular, I have to say. Looks really, really well. And because it's 4G, like you say, there won't be muck and slop coming off it in the depths of winter after a J1 match against whoever, which is a benefit, obviously, as well. And saves a few bob and lawnmowers as well, I'd imagine.
It does, yeah. But it's great when you go to train, and now that we were back for a couple of weeks there, and even when it's raining, you're not getting dirty. You're coming off as clean as you went on. We might give Blanchfield a call there and see will he come out of retirement for an old J2 game on it. See how he feels about it.
Yeah, absolutely. How does it feel, Johnny, to yourself anyway? Because you're coaching out in Tullow there at the moment. How does it feel to play on? What's the feedback like from the lads that play and train on it?
Oh, sure, the young lads love it. Like anyone that will tell you that's coaching young lads now, all they want to do is go to Donnybrook. They want to go to Donnybrook to play in Donnybrook. They want to play on the Astro. That's all they want to do. So They don't have to travel too far now. They have one 7 days a week now if they wanted, So it's great. Like everyone loves it, and it's a fantastic thing, and it's a great achievement for the club to have it. It's the first Southeast club to have a 4G pitch, So it's good.
Absolutely. And the plans for it going forward, is that your main pitch now, and you've got 2 grass pitches then up the side?
Yeah, I'd imagine it would be as pushed forward as the main pitch, yeah. And then we'll have a full-size pitch just to the right of it, and then one that's slightly bit smaller up to the top. But we may do what we have. So we have 3 pitches now, and it's something we well needed. As you know yourself from going out there Sundays, there can be minis out there, there can be ladies and J1s and J2s, and it's very hard to get space for 2 pitches. So it's well needed.
Absolutely. And you've managed to find space off the car park up at the back of the old main pitch, I presume. And you made more space for parking as well, which is fantastic use of the space out there too.
Oh yeah, there's lots of space out there now for parking, yeah. There's a lot of planning went into it, and they've really done a fantastic job. It's laid out very, very well. And it looks the part, so that's the main thing.
I'd say you miss going out for a pint out there, especially over the last year or two. Yeah, it's a great old place to meet up with people, of course, Tullow Rugby Club, and plenty of Sean O'Brien memorabilia and bits and pieces on the wall, jerseys and all that. But it's always good old atmosphere out there as well when after a match or whenever.
Yeah, Sunday's great old crack. You love going in the door, turning right and heading for BS Corner up to Tommy Dwyer and Daddy Cass and Johnny Fitz and a few of the others, and listen to a few lies and tell a few lies, and it's great old crack of a Sunday evening, yeah.
It's all part of it. Johnny,
it's all part of it.
Absolutely. How did everyone cope during lockdown, and the club itself? Because it's the same as anywhere. There would have been financial hits. The players all had to stop in their tracks. Whatever lads you were developing at the time and all that stuff, it all sort of goes out the window, and you nearly have to start again from scratch. Kilkenny found themselves doing that.
It's a gas one. We're actually not too bad development wise. We have a couple of guys down in Southeast and stuff, and they're training away, and they've been given programs from the Southeast to keep going. And a lot of the youth coaches in Tullow gave programs out during COVID for teams to do and stuff to keep interested. And I know Morris just gave the lads a well-needed break from the seniors. But yeah, I think I listened to James now. I know he said they're struggling, but they are kind of a club that are rebuilding again from maybe massive success a number of years ago to going down to a slump for a while and trying to get back up. But we're on a high at the moment. The club has been going well the last number of years. The AstroTurf pitch is in, so interest is high. So we're not in the same position as Kilkenny, fortunately for us, but it's not too bad actually,
Absolutely. And how are you in terms of players? Obviously, like you were saying, you were allowed to come back and train for a few weeks. Then you actually, by law, I think you have to take, by the rules, you have to take your summer break and then go back to pre-season. And how is with players coming back and everything like that?
It's a strange one. You're going back for 4 weeks and then you're told you have to finish again. You might as well have stayed at home. But it was great to get back out and see the lads, I suppose, again, and have young lads out mixing with each other, and it's just some sort of normality. But yeah, numbers were good. All youth teams had nearly full capacity of what they would have had before COVID and prior to the pandemic at all. So it was good, and it speaks volumes for the coaches, I suppose, that the kids are interested to come back even after such a long break,
That's it. And that's one thing you'd be worried about out there, that the momentum would be gone. You'd lose numbers and, you feel like you're really gone down a few rungs of the ladder, so to speak.
Well, it is a worry because guys are sitting at home for 12 to 14 months and then the phone beeps, rugby training is back, and you're there going, do I really want to do this? Do I want to go back to this?
You've got 15 props sitting at home.
yeah. It's gas, yeah. But no, look, at the young lads have been very good now, and they're very obliging to everything, like COVID protocols and everything. There's never been an issue, everyone comes in, sanitized, trains, sanitized after, does what they're meant to do when they're there. So it's great. We started the touch tournament 2 weeks ago out there with all the youth teams. So from under 13s right through to under 16s. And that's been very good. We run that on a Saturday for the last 2 weeks, and we've 2 more weeks left of it. And we've 87 to 92 or 3 kids registered and playing that every Saturday. So that's keeping them interested, I suppose. And then that's finished now on the 26th. So we'll take July off, and then we're back in August for, what would you call it, a pre-season point 2 or something, maybe. 2020.
And do you have any of the Leinster summer camps on out there, Johnny?
Yeah, the Leinster summer camp will be back there. I'm actually not sure the date. I think it's at the middle of July, generally around the same time.
Yeah.
But it's due to be back, and it's actually sold out in the club. So it's good to see. But interest is high in rugby at the minute, and like everything, the pitch is new, so everyone wants to be interested, and everyone wants to be out and see it, and young lads want to go play on it. So it made the club right the success of it,
Absolutely. So the next for you get back and do pre-season, and then it's Southeast League usually, is it? Or James was talking last week about a possible sort of pre-season cup competition or something.
There's a new cup. Yeah, we're actually, who are we due to play? We due to play Monkstown in that. I think we're home. I'm not 100% sure, but I think our first game is at home in it. But that'll be good because I know like James was saying, the Southeast hasn't been really anything to be worried about lately over the last maybe 5-6 years. No one's really put much effort into it. So I suppose now with COVID and stuff, everyone will want to play for it, and then with the opportunity of getting into the All-Ireland Junior Cup out of it, it's a big incentive to put your best team forward for it,
Surely is. That's a major carrot and a stick for clubs now. But that's sort of the stuff that you need as well, that just drives that interest forward as well. It'd be huge getting into a cup competition like that.
Oh, it'd be massive for any junior club. Never mind us, for any junior club, any club at all. It'd be extremely, it'd be brilliant, to be some honour, for a small little club to be added in from just winning your area league,
Mm-hmm. So Southeast League then back into Leinster League, of course, and then your typical season then with your Towns Cup coming after that. With lads mad to get back into the Leinster League, I'd say. Jeannie Mac, you know, a whole season of it missed and a bit more. It's a long time without regular rugby.
Oh, it is. It's gas, but sometimes these things can be good, sometimes they can be bad. So we have to look at the positive of it. A lot of our lads who maybe carrying knocks got them right. You know, things like that. You look at all the positives too. But I know from talking to Morris that he's looking forward to the month off from now till the middle of July, end of July sort of thing. And then he's all steam ahead then for, I'd imagine we're going to be chasing some sort of promotion maybe. Don't want to jinx the lads or talk out with turn, but I'd say moving up the league would be main priority, you know, and worry about cup them and cup arrives. Like.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tullow had great momentum over the last number of years. You know, a couple of Towns Cup finals appearances, Towns Cup in the bag as well. We were working that day, of course, for the radio.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, great day. Yeah, so Tullow have been sort of, what would you call it, knocking on that door for quite a while and consistently knocking on that door as well. So in a good place, Johnny, and decent players and decent young lads coming through out there as well.
Yeah, it's been a building process, I suppose, since Morris started maybe 5 years ago. It's been all a building process, you know, to get up to where it needs to be. What's really positive is there's lots of good young lads who could potentially move forward to Dublin and move forward and play for the Lansdowns, the Clontarfs, but they're staying down home and they're playing down home. So it's good. Look at the team itself. The senior team is relatively young enough. There's not too many lads pushing on. Maybe Louis Kilkine to be the closest lad to the age of retirement. He'll tell you he's another couple of years left in him, but I don't know.
Confidence is a great thing, isn't it?
And Louis has it in abundance.
That's it.
But yeah, like the club's in a good place player-wise, definitely, you know. Lots of good, talented young lads, all hard workers, and all they want to do is play first team rugby and play on that new Astro pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of lads being picked up from a Leinster point of view, I know a lot of that stuff has been sort of paused of late and that, but what do you like in terms of lads, you know, getting onto the underage?
Yeah, not
Leinster
too bad
ranks?
at the moment.
Yeah.
Connor Duffy and Jack Hanlon were in the 19 set up there for a while. Both actually got released to go back for a few things to work on, I suppose, throughout the summer and maybe get a recall. But Connor had been Leinster 18's captain the year previous, so he's there. There's Adam Johnson, Adam Day, and James Whelan are all playing Leinster 18's at the moment, so or trialing for Leinster 18's rather. And then we have, I think there's 5 guys down with the under 16 Southeast, and there's 7 guys down with the under 15 Southeast. They're all going through their trialing process at the moment, so not doing too bad. And then Dan O'Brien made the Leinster 18's girls squad, so representation there from all codes, I suppose, you know.
Yeah, and that's good numbers, Johnny, for lads, you know, knocking on that door as well. No, great stuff. And come here, tell me what Charlie Ward is up to these days. He gone over to Connacht, as far as I know.
Yeah,
Charlie
he's gone to the west. He reckons it's sunnier over there. No, Charlie's flying it. He was actually in the club with me on Friday night, coaching the 7 lads who were going down for their first trial on Monday. He came out to do a bit with them, just to talk them through the trials of it and what to do and what to look for and where to work hard and where to avoid getting into messes and stuff like so. He's actually going out this Friday again to do it with them. But so Charlie's in a sub-academy contract in Connacht at the moment.
All right.
And I suppose Dennis Buckley getting injured is kind of falling into a bit of Charlie's luck that he might potentially could feature with first team before Christmas, or definitely this side of Christmas, you know.
And that's your opportunity.
Yeah, massive, yeah. And still very young. Like Charlie's only 21.
All right.
Yeah, still very, very young. Like, so he's training away over there. He loves it. He seems to enjoy it. He's over there. There's Sir Thomas Daly is over there as well, and they're getting on well. Both went through the same system at Southeast and stuff like that as well. So they're coming from the one route. But Charlie's enjoying it. He seems to be learning a good bit more, and he's definitely grown as a player, because I've noticed from coaching him in Tullow to talking to him last Friday night, his knowledge has definitely moved massive amounts up, like, you know.
Yeah.
So he's getting on well. So please God, he features. Hopefully not against Leinster, but he might feature in a Pro 16 game before Christmas.
Absolutely. Well, we're not doing too bad with provincial representation anyway. Tom Daly, Ed, of course, Ed Byrne. Sean, of course, we all know about. And Bryan Byrne has gone over to Bristol as well. But yeah, it's great for Charlie, I suppose, to have that other Carlow player there. And Tom, like you said, Tom Daly's been through that. He came through the club system into the Leinster Academy and went west. And got his game time, and he's having a savage season over there. So
he's after having a fantastic season. In fairness to him, I do be talking to him back and forth a bit there. Like, and he really has had a fantastic season this season. And I felt like I only texted him last week to say, if any season was your season, it's definitely this season. So hopefully he gets an Irish tour. And 3 days later, he was announced into the Irish squad. So I'm delighted for him. He worked really hard. He's a very good player, and Thomas is a very honest, nice, decent fella as well. Like, you know, he's never too far away if you give him a phone call to come down to do something with the chaps. Or even there during lockdown, I asked him would he do a challenge for a COVID challenge we done, and he done kicking into a bin. He didn't score too good now, but he done the challenge anyway. Nevertheless, he got 2 out of 6.
Whoops.
But yeah, no, I'm delighted for them. And Bryan and Ed Byrne are getting on very well at the moment. I suppose Bryan made the move to Bristol, and it seems to be working out for him. And Ed is flying it in Leinster, so.
All good. And 2 Carlow men on that, like you said, on Andy Farrell's Irish team for those 2 summer tests. So how bad? I see Sean, we will talk about him over here as well. I see Sean, his
brother's... You'd be ashamed not to.
Yeah, it'd be shame not to. Sean is over, I think he's in Jersey, or maybe it was an old photo. Steve, his brother, put up a thing on Instagram this morning. It's Thursday when we're recording this. Sean with a statue of a lion. And of course, the Lions are training in Jersey at the moment. So he's sniffing around the camp there somewhere anyway.
Man could be anywhere, Stephen.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Sean, in fairness to him, he's doing some amount of work with London Irish. I mean, from a coaching point of view, you know, just working with the players, you know, just bringing that experience he has from Ireland, Lions, Leinster, and, you know, Sean is decorated as well with medals and everything else. But just bringing that experience into London Irish has brought them on a huge amount as well. And like Sean was a leader when he was playing for his province and his country as well. And it's something that, you know, if you get into any of those teams that are building like London Irish, it's worth its weight in gold.
Oh, it is, yeah, sure. And in fairness to him, he's after slotting right in there, you know. It's like he was there all his life. He's that high up there, I suppose. But no, he's great. He's been playing well. He's been managed well. He's getting himself back right. He's probably in the best shape he's been in a long time, I suppose, at the moment. And he's moving well. We're actually brought an under-14 team over to London Irish in February 2020. So yeah, it would have been just before the lockdown we were over. Sean was actually meant to feature in that game, but wasn't ready to go back. So he gave us a tour around London Irish Club, and we played the under-14s, and he was just walking us around and showing us stuff and talking us through the culture they're building. And London Irish definitely needs someone like Sean, you know, a worker to get in and with experience and with leadership skills and drive it on, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Declan Kinney was clever, I suppose, recruiting Sean from a number of different point of views. But that's, you know, regardless of what Sean can do on a pitch, like you just said, it's all that other stuff. It's building that culture. You know, London Irish have recruited well. They brought in some Irish players, Paddy Jacksons of the world, and that as well. Just trying to get, you know, Paddy has loads of experience. He's represented Ireland. He played for Ulster. He's been to France and all that as well. Trying to get that good core built up in there and work out from there as well. So yeah, no, it's great. Yeah. And he seems to be enjoying the old London life as well, by the looks of it anyway.
Yeah. Once he's not on the farm, he's loving it, you know. Yeah. I see he has swimming pools there in the apartment, and he's loving himself. Yeah, sure. He's dead right, I suppose.
Perhaps has to be done as well. Yeah, so that's, I suppose, Sean and a couple of the Carlow players and all that sort of stuff. So at the moment out there, Johnny, it's sort of all underage blitzes and all that sort of stuff. Is that stuff allowed to continue, I suppose?
Yeah, non-contact is allowed to continue. So we're playing touch games at the moment, and there's 12 players per team. So only 6 are allowed on. So 6 start the game, and you have 6 subs. So we're doing that at the moment. It's all non-contact. So it's all, well, contact is actually permitted to go back, but the rugby season insurance has stopped. So we had to get a separate insurance for the touch, just so I don't go hurt, heaven forbid. But it's going well. Kids are interested. The enjoyment is there, the fun element is there. So it's all about building that back, I suppose, before we hit the ground running in August. And they don't like their coaches again because they're being mid-run and lots of contact and stuff. So we'll build them up high before we have to knock them down, I suppose.
Absolutely. And any more building work going on out there? You've got a lot of the stuff done there as it is.
Yeah, nothing really at the minute. Just tidy up, I suppose, the car park, get the 2 grass pitches ready to go. I think there's still a small bit of work to be done with them, maybe sanding and a few bits of drainage maybe to tighten up on, but everything out there is falling into place. COVID knocked it back a bit the last time because we were getting the clubhouse painted up and we got the wall done by Bryan Byrne there.
Seen that. So, it's a mural for people that don't know. It's lovely. Yeah,
it's great now. It is lovely and it's a credit to him. And Alex O'Brien was the driving force behind that. So it looks really well now when you drive in the gate. The new entrance, I suppose, as well, is a big thing to mention for anyone who hasn't been up to Tullow in a long time. You have to turn right if you're coming from Tullow an awful lot quicker than you used to. So, we had changed the entrance there. It was just a bit tight for neighbours down the laneway, I suppose, coming out on a Sunday morning with minis and that, so we moved the entrance back to where it originally was, so about 100, I'd say about 100 feet to the left of where it originally was. So it's well marked out anyway. You won't miss it, but just be prepared to turn earlier, a little bit quicker.
Yeah, you get caught when you're coming out from Tullow. You go by it and oops.
Admire the pitch in your right hand side as you're driving to Ratho, then is what you do.
Absolutely. I know that's great that all that work has gone on out there and the timing, I suppose, worked for it as well. Johnny, yourself, I suppose, from a rugby point of view, I suppose we might as well speak a bit about Leinster. Overall, an okay season, a Pro 14 in the bag. Champions Cup semi-final. Weren't expecting to lose to La Rochelle, but so be it. It wasn't the worst season, I suppose, in terms of Leinster's development. They're capable of a Champions Cup, but just struggling to push on that bit further the last couple of years. Yeah,
I suppose they're in a building process too, aren't they? There's lots of young lads trying to get blooded in, as they say, and they're giving lots of young lads opportunities, like Tim Corkery from Kilkenny got a cap. I think he's 2 caps now, is it?
He does, yeah.
2 starts for Leinster, yeah. Like Martin Maloney from Athy, all them young lads are getting game time. So it's great to see that young lads are getting the chance, I suppose, in high-profile games. But yeah, not the ideal season. La Rochelle kind of bullied them, I suppose, for all the world. But if you look at history, I suppose every French team will bully you.
That's so,
yeah. We either adapt or perish, I suppose, and we keep seeming to be the rock we perish on is getting bullied by French teams. But one day we might get there, I suppose.
Absolutely. It's all, I suppose, building nicely towards it. They've retained a lot of their players this year, of course. And like you said, the academy is just pumping out lads to bait the band. As I keep saying to Chris Pimm on the podcast, we're tripping up over back rows. It's like you're in a factory with a conveyor belt and they're just filling up the pile in front of you and you don't know what to do with them.
And the best thing about it is that they're all good.
Oh, they're all savage. Yeah, no,
they're all international standard, I suppose. But look, it's all probably a building process to 2023 World Cup, I suppose. And I review Andy Farrell have a few bits to say, and like Leinster, Munster, Ulster, and Connacht to see what way lads are going. Interesting to see Andy Farrell mentioning Simon Zebo.
Yeah, he wasn't too committal when he mentioned him. Now he acknowledged that he's back, but he did also sort of say, "Go ahead."
Yeah, he's been watching his games and stuff, so interesting.
More competition.
Yeah, I suppose it'll push like Hugo Keenan on. I suppose Will Addison being added back into the squad as well after, I suppose, 12 to 16 months of injury has been unfortunate for him because he's a very good player too, So
yeah, Jordan Larmour didn't have a great season last season, but he played okay for Leinster last week against the Dragons.
He's kind of a confidence player, I think. If things are going well for a team he's with, he'll go well. If they're not, he'll go hiding maybe. I don't know. That's the vibe you get off it, you know.
Yeah, there's a good few like decent wingers. Like Jacob Stockdale is still a decent winger. You know, he didn't go bad overnight. I know there was issues defensively and all that sort of criticism, but he's quite a good player to create something out of nothing and finish the ball as well. Keith Earls is going to be fighting for a place on the wing as well. So Simon will have his work cut out to get a bit of form with Munster to click back in and then push on from there.
Yeah, but it's good for Munster, I suppose, too, that they're getting lads like Simon back, you know, because they haven't been where they probably should have been for the last number of years, you know. But look at all building too, I suppose, and they've a couple of young lads in there now as well, and Gavin Coombs, Joey Carberry, these lads they'll offer something in the next couple of years, I suppose.
He will. Coombs is some player.
Yeah, he's very good now, in fairness.
Yeah,
he is very good.
Very good. Looking forward to seeing him now playing for Ireland now during the summer. See how he gets on. Are you going to watch the Lions, Johnny?
Yeah, it's actually funny. I was meant to be in South Africa for the Lions tour with Kilkenny College. there were talks of going over, and I was going to see him get on it and go over to it. But I'll have to watch it from my sitting room now, I suppose.
Oh, man.
Put a little picture of Cape Town in the background, maybe.
Yeah, I have a little cry every evening. I should be sitting out there. No, it's fantastic. Chris Pimm did it in 2009. He went on the tour. The family went for a holiday, and he said it was nothing like it. It was one of the best tours I can remember. I wasn't on it, but just from watching it on the TV, it was the one I was most engrossed in. They're all pretty good, but that one sort of drew my attention.
Yeah, I think any tour like that is very good. You know, it'd be very good to be on or be at, rather, for the likes of me and you. Anyway, we wouldn't be on it. We'd be at it, I suppose.
Be at it, having a look, enjoying ourselves.
Yeah.
No, it's great. There's plenty of rugby to look forward to. Actually, I get your opinions as well. Speaking about South Africa, the United Rugby Championship. Basically, the Pro 14 is in the bin. We've a new competition now with the addition of South African teams. We need a physical presence and physical teams. We know the French are physical, but the South Africans are a different kettle of fish. It's a good thing, I think, to bring into the Pro 14 and sort of shake us up a small bit.
It is. It'll drive competition, I suppose, and it'll make provincial teams that little bit more open, I suppose, to what's coming for internationals. Like if you're going to South Africa, you play them once every so often. But if you're playing South African teams every year, you can know what to expect, you know. So it opens up. I think it's good. I think it's good for rugby. I'm just laughing because in 2011, I was at the last Magners League final in Thomond Park. Here we are 10 years later calling it the United Rugby Championship. Is that what's called now? Yeah.
I was just thinking about that, Johnny. I held the Celtic Cup and I was there for the final in 2009, was it? Was it the year they won the champ? No, I didn't do the double that year. 2008, Leinster won it. Ollie Leroux was playing for Leinster that time, and Bernard Jackman and all those, and it was at that final. And I got to hold the cup in the Seven Oaks, the old Celtic League trophy. Yeah. That's what it was called. Yeah. And I was just thinking, like you said, wow, it says that you've had a Pro 12 since, Pro 14, and now, here we are a couple of years later calling it the United Rugby Cup, is it, or Championship?
It's developing all the time.
Yeah.
But it's only getting better, I suppose, too. You know.
Absolutely.
I was in Thomond in 2011 when Munster pipped us the week after the Heineken Cup final.
I was there myself, and I was over in Cardiff too for that final.
I was down in the streets of Limerick selling Sean O'Brien t-shirts.
Were you? Oh, the number 7 one, the blue and yellow ones. I have one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one of them.
I remember being at the back gate and George Hook asking me, who's Sean O'Brien?
Oh, good man.
As I handed him the t-shirt, you know, and drove off with himself anyway.
Yeah,
David Wallace actually bought one off me that day.
Good man, David. Yeah. Happy days. Another Munster back row legend.
I'd say it was used in the warm-up maybe for drying his sweat or something.
Yeah, I'm mopping up something off the ground at home. Yeah, no, it was great memories, weren't they? 2011 Heineken Cup final was something else. That week, I suppose, that winning that, and then the trip to Limerick then for the final that Leinster lost, of course. But it was all good crack anyway. And sure, Tullow were there in abundance anyway. There was buses.
Oh, sure. I think there was 3 or 4 buses in the Heineken Cup final. I think there was 3 or 4 in Limerick as well.
You know how I know? Because I drove behind them the whole way to Cardiff.
Find your way.
Yeah, try stay with the Tullow bus. That's where, we'll just follow them. Never mind.
If you get lost, you'll still have the crack.
Yeah, 100%. I know,
Yeah.
it's great. No, it's great catching up with you, Johnny. It's been a while, of course, with COVID closing down a lot of stuff. Rugby sort of took a back seat and everything, but it's great to hear the Tullow's doing well out there in terms of your developments and everything, and that the team, like you said, confidently are aiming for promotion, but going back in to the Leinster League with that confidence as well. So it's good to hear, and sure, we look forward to when things return in a couple of months. It's great catching up with you as well.
Yeah, it's good to chat to you, Steve. Maybe we might get Blanchfield on for a little debate one day.
We will. No better
See how we go on.
Exactly. We get our local clubs on and pitches against each other off the pitch. Brilliant.
Blanche will win the argument. He's very good at debating now, in fairness to him.
He's a good speaker, in fairness to him.
He's a good man. He's a good
That's
man.
it. So that wraps up our podcast for this week. Johnny Tobin is our guest from Tullow Rugby Club, speaking on behalf of the club out there. And yeah, that's it. Talk to you next week.